All right, it was a violent takedown that Warren police officials kept secret until the 7 investigators uncovered it. This was the video that the city wouldn't release, showing how a minor traffic offense quickly escalated into a driver being tased on the ground. Warren officials kept the case quiet, but days after 7 investigator Ross Jones found out about it, longtime Commissioner Bill Dwyer was forced out of a job. Today, those officers were back in court. Here's 7 investigator Ross Jones.
When he started threatening you, how did that make you feel?
Unsafe.
Okay, why?
Because he pointed taser on me.
Former Warren police officers Damian Player and Carlos Taylor were in court today, charged over this alleged excessive force from July 20th of last year. On that day, truck driver Ole Deca was trying to back his semi into a loading dock in Centerline, outside of the officer's jurisdiction, when he was blocking traffic, leading the officers to respond.
Open the door now, you get paid. Open the door now.
That's the voice of Officer Player, who was training his partner, Officer Taylor, that day. Police asked for Deca's license and for him to step out of his truck. But Deca didn't comply, and the scene quickly escalated.
Get out of the truck.
Deca would be forced out of his truck by Officer Taylor, then thrown to the ground. Seconds later, Officer Player would tase him.
Taser.
As Deca laid on the ground, Player tased him again. Ole Deca would be charged with nothing. Both officers would be fired by Warren police. The city agreed to pay Deca $400,000 just a month after he was tased, and Player and Taylor were each charged with misconduct in office, a 5-year felony. Player was charged with another felony, assault with a dangerous weapon.
What these officers saw was a minor traffic offense that specifically Mr. Player then on his own escalated very quickly in the initial interactions with Mr. Deca.
But attorneys for both former officers argued today that the force they used was justified, especially since the driver wasn't compliant.
These guys are out there. They're out there putting their lives on the line. And this is what they're confronted with. This. An insubordinate person who thinks that he can do whatever he wants to do.
Officer Taylor's attorney called an expert witness, a Royal Oak police detective who reviewed the body cam from that day.
When someone pulls away from an officer, is that cause for concern for a police officer's safety?
For sure.
And then does that then put a police officer in a heightened level of concern where they then have to deploy a taser, and that would be their only way to control the situation?
That is potentially a reasonable use of force, yes.
Does the prosecutor not like it because it doesn't look good? It didn't look good in the cameras. It didn't look good in the press. It doesn't look good at everything. And that's why we're standing here? Most likely.
Today, Judge Steve Beda bound over Officer Damian Player on all charges. He's the officer who deployed his taser. His partner, Officer Taylor, had his felony charge dismissed, but he is still facing those misdemeanor charges. From the newsroom, I'm Ross Jones, 7 News Detroit.
All right, thank you so much, Ross.